Welcome to episode 40 of Ring Talk, the weekly Goodwin boxing show. Myself, Martin Theobald, Steve Goodwin, and Brad Pauls, undefeated middleweight, the Cornish. So what is it? The
Newquay Bomb.
Newquay Bomb. Sorry, I was going to be Cornish.
Cornish Thunder.
Cornish. Is that another one?
Yeah, it's another one.
Is it? I like that. I prefer that actually.
It's right, isn't it? Like Kazakh Thunder.
Who made that up?
From like Golovkin.
You
Kazakh Thunder, Cornish Thunder.
He's your weight. He's your weight. He'll call you out for that.
The next coming.
So we're going to come on to Brad's career to date, and what he's achieved and what he's going to achieve. Some of the plans maybe of where he's going with his career, and some questions for him. But we'll start off with the weekend. Not my weekend, because I was pissed in Cambridge.
I was in the same place.
Yeah, with
both pissed in Cambridge.
Questionable shirt on, and took plenty of reasonable abuse for that. But yeah, it's a very good night. So and Mr. Evans, who was there, will be watching this. He was on top form. But yeah, George Fox down at the Copper.
Yeah, obviously I didn't go because we'd had this set for a long time ago. He's won 40-36. He's had a comfortable win, so he's been on. He's fought on a decent card in London. So he's had 2 fights now. The first one was on a hay show. Second one was on a matchroom show. So it's not a bad way to start his career.
Is there a pressure for someone? I mean, there is obviously from fans, but does he feel a pressure upon himself to get that stoppage if he's on a big platform like a matchroom show? Does he feel an additional need to go out and do it, or is 40-36 fine?
I think he thinks 40-36 is fine. I don't think he felt that. From what I understand from the fight, I think he just measured and just won every minute of every round. But I don't think there was ever. I mean, there was ever a point when he was going to stop him. Spoke to Don Charles' dad, and he just said, "I think if he'd gone 60, he'd have stopped him." Right. But yeah, over 40, over 40. He said he hurt him once or twice, but. That was about it, but he's won every round.
Yeah,
it's great. It's great, and he moves on now to his third pro fight.
How does that work as a boxer? Do you feel under pressure when you're going out there to get that? Because certainly at the beginning of your career, you were stopping everyone, weren't you? Yeah. Did it start to feel an obligation to go out and look for the stoppage?
Definitely, because you know what people enjoy. And it's a blood sport. People enjoy knockouts.
Yeah.
They've paid all the money to come watch you. You want to give them exactly what they want.
Yeah.
And people want to see people. It sounds bad. Get hurt and put to the floor.
Knocked out.
There's been times where I've stopped people. And they're like, "Oh, I wish you hit him one more time," so he went down. The ref jumped in too early. I wanted to see him on the floor, but.
It's true though.
That's what they want, and that's people get most excited by knockouts.
Yeah, but then like when you started to go up through 6 rounders, the opponents get a bit tougher, don't they? And it's harder because you might think like you've had 4 rounds to stop people. 6 be a piece of piss. You damage everybody in 6, but those opponents get a little bit tougher.
It's the opponents. Like my last fight, Warburton. You're not going to look amazing against Warburton. No. And fair play, he's very, very good at making you look bad. Yeah, he's very elusive. And he's taking 50% off the shot, just always moving back.
Well, he takes a lot off his shoulder, doesn't he? All the time he's bringing that shot like a Mayweather shoulder roll.
Yeah.
But Warburton is a fighter that if you're developing the fighter correctly, like we are with Brad, to get into titles, he is a fighter you need to box before you move up to those.
He's a gatekeeper, isn't he?
He's somebody you must fight. I think Linus has done it and Brad's done it. Yeah. I'm not saying it's the best fight for their fans, but it's a fight I believe that they all need to do.
Yeah, well, he's been through the motions 150 times or whatever, hasn't he?
And if you show any weakness, he just thinks, right, okay, I'm going to have you. And
he can hit a little bit. He can hit a little bit.
Yeah,
when he wants to.
He stopped Aaron Morgan, didn't he?
Yeah, and he stopped the British.
Jason Welburn.
That's it. Yeah. So you got to be switched on. You can't just switch off. And
how crazy is that? Jason Welburn's fighting Jarrett Hurd on the Tyson Fury undercard. You seen that?
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah, he's fighting Jarrett Hurd apparently on the Tyson Fury undercard, having been stopped by a man you beat.
Wow, that's mad. Let's hope.
Well, it's crazy, isn't it?
So he vacated the British.
He did, yeah.
Now Heffron's fighting for it against
Williams.
No, it's not Williams. No. It's Metcalf.
Metcalf.
That's it. And then now he's going to America.
Yeah, and he's going off to fight Jarrett.
What a great opportunity, though.
Oh, amazing! He's going to get beaten, I'm sure. But
as I say, when anybody takes a suicide mission up, I hope they're getting well paid.
Hope they're getting well paid with an exit plan.
Because the problem that you've got in boxing, and I say it all the time, too many boxers take suicide missions for not enough money.
Yeah.
But that's what we avoid our boxers doing. So that's the key. If you're going to take a suicide mission, not being funny, if Brad goes, I send him on a suicide mission, he gets £1 million. then that's probably okay.
Yeah.
But if he's getting there for 100 grand, it's probably not okay.
Yeah, you don't want the Kazakh funder right now.
Nah, not yet.
For that kind
of £1 million quid.
It's like, you got to, for those sort of fights, you've got to be getting really life-changing money. He's got to buy you a property outright, at least, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, someone like a William Warburton, you're never going to stop him. How do you approach that? How do you get in there and think?
Just accept it from the fight it's made. You're not knocking him out.
Right.
If you try, you'll look worse.
And there's also, I think, it's probably an unspoken rule that if you try and really stick it on someone like a William Warburton, there's a fair chance he's going to up those levels a little bit.
And that's what they say about him, yeah. If you really try and knock him out and upset him, he will try even harder.
Yeah.
But use it as an opportunity to just go through the motions. For me, I did box for a while, so it was good to get the rust out.
Yeah. All right, we'll come back to you in a bit, but I'm not leaving you to one side. But there's the older boxer to discuss for this Friday night.
Seen the draw?
I have seen the draw, although I'm a little bit confused because it's still got John McCallum referenced in there.
So basically, obviously, unfortunately, we've got two of ours fighting each other. We've got Joel McIntyre fighting Daryl Church.
Yeah.
And then on the other side of the draw, Jordan Joseph now fights Georgie Bacon.
Yeah.
So I think Jordan's going to win. I think Jordan will win that. And then he will then fight the winner of Shakan Pitters and Sam Smith, which is not a bad fight.
It's a good fight, that.
I think Pitters is the dark horse of the competition. I think Pitters will overcome Sam, only because he's 6'5", awkward, and he's campaigned about 13-10, 13-11. So with an overnight weigh-in, he's going to be huge.
6'5" light heavyweight. That's taking the mick.
But he's going to be 12-9 on the day before. He's going to be 13-8. So he's going to be a lot bigger than the rest of them. So I think with his awkwardness and size, he could be the real one of the very, very close favourites of the tournament. So I would expect to see Jordan fight Sam Smith in the semi-final. Sorry, Jordan fight Pitters, but I mean, Sam Smith's a lovely man. I like Sam. I'd be delighted to see Sam win, but I think it'll be Shakan Pitters, but I'll be delighted to be proved wrong. And on the other side, I would expect Dex Spellman to overcome Sam Horsfell relatively comfortably, and the winner of Joel and Daryl, I would expect to meet Dex Spellman in the semi-final. That's what I expect to happen.
And then it's all up in the air at that point, isn't it?
Who knows?
Because they might have cuts, they might have picked up a little bit of a knock somewhere in the first round.
That's what I think happens, and then we'll see where it ends up from there.
Yeah, fascinating stuff. I like the old the tournament.
They're showing it on Sport Bible, all the early rounds, and then they're going on to Spike at 10 o'clock.
For which round? The semis or the final?
I'm not sure, because you've got to get two semis, a final, and a fight in between if it's 10 o'clock. So I presume they're going to do the two semis. Then I think Yusuf Kamari's going on. He's also boxing, one of my fighters on the undercard. I think he's going to be on that 10 o'clock slot, and then they'll have the final, because they won't go two semis final. They need the fight in between. So I presume all the quarters will probably be done prior to that with the undercard, I guess.
As long as they haven't got that rapper geezer that was on last time.
Or Big Nasty.
Oh, Charlie God. No, it's Big Nasty.
Oh, okay.
Just getting everyone to shout the C word whilst live on Channel 5. It's incredible. I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah, so I mean, hopefully it'll be a good night. Hopefully our guys acquit themselves well and get as far as they can.
And the winner gets
16 grand.
16 grand. So it's decent money for somebody to come out of it with.
Yeah, for sure.
And then they get incremental lower money, presumably for semi-final losses.
There's 2,000 to go in, 4,000 if you get to the semis, 8,000 to the final, 16 to the winner.
Would something like that appeal to you? That tournament style?
Yeah, suits me down to the ground.
Does it?
Perfect. Yeah, short and sweet, explosive.
Three round.
Yeah, I remember the first time at ABAs, it was 2 fights in one day, and then won them both by knockout. So I was like, right,
home by 12.
Done. Short and sweet.
I'd fancy Brad to win an ultimate boxer against nearly anybody in the country.
Yeah, it just suits. I called it out on Twitter. It just suits my style, and I've got this feeling that I'd win it.
So ultimate boxer, come down to middleweight.
I'm there.
Could you go up or down in weight? Super middle, light middle?
I could go super middle, but I couldn't make light middle.
Right.
Nah.
Those legs don't allow it.
Kebab legs, yeah. Lay me down.
So yeah, I mean that's Friday night then, as you say, on Sports Bible, is it?
Sports Bible, 8:15 I think it is, followed by Spike TV, Channel 5 Spike at 10 o'clock.
Cool. There's not much else in the world of Goodwin boxing you can announce as yet for new signings or new fights. No, not at
this moment.
So we'll have a quick look at the November card that's coming up, which is only some 2.5 weeks away. Wadi Camacho, Arfan Iqbal headlining it.
And Michael Rambalatz and Ryan Walker, chief support. Two great fighters.
They are. I see Wadi's hard in training camp at the moment.
And Arfan's been in Portugal.
Has he?
Okay. Had a 3-week training camp in Portugal.
Oh, right. That's different for him, isn't it? He doesn't.
I think Clifton, his trainer, wanted to drag him over there, so I think he's taken this very seriously.
Get him out of Derby, and
I think his performance last time on television against Vallely wasn't the greatest, so I think he wants to try and put a thing on. But Wadi Camacho is training as hard as ever, and I'd imagine Terry Colt's put a really good game plan in. It went wrong for him the first time, so I'm sure he's going to. He knows what went wrong, and I'm sure he's trying to put on a better performance. I think it's a great fight, and the winner, sky's the limit for the winner for sure. I saw the Chamberlain-Watkins fight at the weekend, and I don't see anybody's got anything to be scared of there.
Yeah.
So, and I don't, I think that the cruiserweight divisions were wide open as a Commonwealth champion. There's nothing to stop them getting unification or move on from there. So it's a great opportunity for both of them.
Excellent.
And Michael Rambalatz, so this could be his day of reckoning. He's got Ryan Walker's a lovely lad, but I do think Michael wins. But I expect Ryan to still win titles. But I think probably Michael wins this, but then Ryan can come again.
It's an interesting one, isn't it? Because Michael's been to dark places in his career in fights. He's been on the canvas, he's got up, he's fought some really recognisable names. Ryan Walker's had none of that, has he? He's had I'm not going to say a soft, but he's had a good building process through to where he is. And so it's that experience versus freshness.
And Michael's never won anything. Never won anything. So it'd be fantastic for him to win a title, and that's since I've managed him, this is his third title fight.
Well, he was a journeyman, wasn't he?
Yeah, but I've turned him from a journeyman into a champion contender, and this is his third opportunity. Yeah. How many people that are journeyman with negative records get 2 English titles and a Commonwealth title fight?
Yeah,
I've done a bad job.
So what other fights on that? The November one, or who else is involved?
Oh, there's plenty of other undercard fighters, six and 4 rounders. It's basically underneath that all. It's a lot of prospects coming forward. So there's a lot of good action on the undercard. 2 main fights, and then the undercard is full of solid people. I don't want to go through and bore everybody with the next 12 fights, but there's some really good prospects on there. There's a really good kid I don't manage called Ahmet Bekhubois, or whatever it is. He's from Eastern Europe with a massive amateur record.
Oh, right.
And he's making his debut. He's promoted by Ali at Stonebridge Gym. And he thinks he's going to go on to massive things, so I'm actually excited to watch him. The rest of the guys are all guys that I manage, so rather than single, if I single 1 or 2 out, then you upset everybody else. But the cards on box, I reckon everybody can see that.
And people can get tickets via the boxers, via myfighttickets.com. So get on that. And,
but it's a great night, and 13, 14 fights on the card,
and it's selling out as well, isn't it? Yeah, from what I understand,
selling well. Yeah, I mean,
very, very limited.
Yeah, ringside. I mean, you've got a few very limited ringside VIP and some unreserves left, but it's going to be a sellout. Although the 1st December is nearly sold out as we stand.
Speaking of 1st December, your stable mate Linus.
Yeah.
Is he ready?
Yeah.
Taylin Jones, Southern Area fight.
He's going to win it. 100%.
Yeah.
I've never seen him so motivated. he was sparring 10 rounds weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, with Ryder. So his fitness, he's there. He's just so on it.
What's his weight like coming down?
He's not going to struggle with the weight at all. Every base is just covered. He's so motivated.
What's it like sparring him now? Has he got additional...
I haven't sparred him yet in this camp, but he looks vicious. He can spar someone else, and he's like, he's going to win it 100%. I think late stoppage.
Do you?
Yeah.
Because Tay's not a mug. Let's be clear about it. Tay is a legitimate fighter. He's got everything about him. Yeah. Strong jab on him, like ramrod jab. Yeah. Linus has got to be on form for it.
He's horrible to spar Linus. He's slippery and he doesn't get tired.
Yeah.
So he throws punches and bunches, strong and just doesn't slow.
Yeah.
So it's a horrible, horrible combination.
What's the mood in the camp like with Terry Stewart, your trainer?
It's good. We just keep shouting, and the new. And the new. You're on the bag, you're tired, and the new. On the track, and the new. And that's the rhythm of the camp. It's good.
Just keep drilling it into him.
Yeah.
So when will you start sparring him in preparation for it? Or will you?
I was meant to be sparring him tonight, but
Ah, you bottled it. You come up here.
Like Sparring Linus are sitting having a chat. Good choice.
Excellent. So, I mean, obviously, you'll be fundamental in the preparation for it, I'm guessing.
So similar sort of stylist to Taylor, I think. Forwards.
Will Terry ask you to adapt your style to replicate what Tay would do?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, when it gets close to the fight, my last few final spars.
Yeah,
you'll just be like, right, do this different, do this different.
Is that hard to do?
Yeah, because you're sort of setting your ways a little bit. You can only adjust it so much, but you can consciously try to do things different for Linus. And I think,
for his benefit.
For his benefit, it'll be good.
Is it hard, like not being in that title fight yourself, or is it accepted that you got two lads, same camp, same weight?
Yeah, it's weird. Like personally, I really like Linus. And I'm really happy for him because I've seen him.
He's a mug. That's a lie. He's a lovely bloke.
But I've seen him work for it, so I'm happy to see him get it. And sharing's caring, so I know he's going to win it. And then he's going, Brad, vacate, you have a go.
So would that be the plan? Have you discussed that? Have you sat and said, like, Linus, you win this fight, and then Linus will drop the title for you? And
yeah.
Have you?
Yeah.
Have you discussed it with Steve?
Yeah. Steve? Stevie boy, come on.
We make the moves when the time's right.
Yeah, because I know it must be hard not to plan ahead like that.
Yeah.
But you've also got a more sensible head over here saying, whoa.
In principle, the point is Brad wants the southern area next year, and that's what I'm going to deliver for him. But how we deliver it and when Linus wants to vacate we'll have to do that and make sure. But Linus is going to get mandatory for the English title after he wins, hopefully against Tay, and then from there on in we can then look at the all the various options as to when he decides to go for that. But then Brad, obviously, in the southern area is the man with the best record, who's the most qualified to fight for southern area. He's won an eliminator at middleweight, so he's basically most qualified to step in and fight for it. So that will happen in due course, without a shadow of a doubt. But I expect Brad to be out boxing before we compete for the southern area. But we've got a little plan for the southern area that we've discussed today, and that's what we're aiming for. But we'll deal with that down the line.
So go back to that eliminator, Diego Burton.
Yeah.
We all know he's a tough man. He's been in there with Mullender. Markham, yeah.
And Mullender.
Oh, was it both of them?
Yeah, both of them.
Two skinhead Essex blokes.
Mullender beat him very close on points, and it could have gone. It was very, very close. And Lee Markham was behind on points and stopped him. So he's a decent fighter, Diego.
Yeah, no doubt about it. But you did a number on him, didn't you? It was Diego was never really in that fight, and that's not being disrespectful to him, but you controlled it all the way through.
Yeah.
Like that's your biggest fight today, a 10-rounder, eliminator for that southern area. Was that a hard night?
Yeah, it was a lot of learning. I think before that, I'd only ever done 4 rounds, just because of stoppages and stuff like that.
You've been scheduled for 6.
Scheduled for 6, but the stoppages. And Diego's just tough, man. Yeah. Like, my hands were black and blue swollen.
I saw you in the changing room after.
Oh, and they were so sore. They were just bouncing off his head. Do you have a nightmare? You hit someone, it don't hurt them. Diego. That's just Diego. And he would keep coming all night. You wouldn't wince or nothing like that. But it was just perfect just to give me what I needed to know I have the energy late on to stop him if I need.
Yeah. You learn a lot from that fight though, because you learn how to pace yourself for 10 rounds. And you got to remember, Brad was not, he had an injury in that fight. And I mean, Diego put up a great fight, but Brad will have learned so much, and he will be free of injury when he does his next 10 rounder. Yeah. So I think you'll see a much, much better Brad Pauls when he goes up to 10 rounds next time.
How much of, I know it's a cliche to say like, oh, you kind of learn how to manage a gas tank and go over 10 rounds. It didn't go the full 10, did it? It was 9. Yeah. But I mean, I know it's a cliche, but is it true that you genuinely, like, would you have got to 7, sat down and gone, I've still got a bit left here, I'm alright? Or
I think doing it in sparring is one thing, then doing it in a fight's different. Yeah. It's always a little bit more spiteful in a fight, and then the adrenaline.
You've got the nervous energy, ring walk, you don't do a ring walking camp.
That's how I shout. But it's something you just have to get in there and do it. You can do it all we want in the gym, but get in there and do it yourself. Yeah. And that's the only way I'm going to be ready to go further. Yeah.
And did you get to like round 8 and think, nah, I'm still good? Or did you get to round 8 and think, fuck, I've still got 2 more to go?
I felt the pace, but I always just knew I had a little bit in me. If I needed to up it, to stop it, I had it there at all times. Yeah. So when I felt that I hurt him in the 9th, I think it was like, maybe started a little bit early, but it was like, I don't know, 8 unanswered shots. Yeah. So I did have the stamina in the end.
Yeah. And did you feel at that point, could you feel that Diego was hurt and therefore you kind of tapped into the reserves, or?
Yeah, you can sense it, because I think I caught him with a right and he went to the ropes and he just didn't throw back.
Yeah.
And then you can just feel it, you have like a bit of an instinct, you can sense it and you've just got to go for it.
So what about if it steps up to 12 rounds for you in the future? I mean, how do you... Obviously you can do 12 rounds in the gym, you can do 15 rounds in the gym, but again, you won't know until you get to fight night if that 12 rounds is really going to be a slog.
You've just got to do it. You've just got to do it.
Take the leap of faith. And
all you can do is prepare the best you can and then hope for the best.
Yeah. And so, I mean, you've moved, haven't you, recently, to be closer to your camp over in Essex?
Yeah.
How's that kind of the whole lifestyle? Because you've had to move from Cornwall up to London.
Yeah.
London to, your training camp.
So I've moved a few different places and ended up in Loughton, which is right next to the gym.
Yeah.
Which is perfect. And then training's just there when I need it. Track's just there when I need it.
Yeah.
So when I'm up here, everything is just for boxing.
Yeah.
And I sit there ready when I need it.
So is that good? Like, is it a good lifestyle change for you? Because I know that you often go back to Cornwall, the kind of the hometown.
So I can bipolar. Like I come up here, I'm like this. Like everything boxing, don't drink, nothing like that. Don't eat unhealthy. Go back to Cornwall, and it's my alter ego just comes out. So that's why I stay away from Cornwall.
You can only go there for a week at a time.
Yeah, a week at a time, and then that's it. 'Cause it's just not good for my health, not good for my bank. Just stay clear.
So what's the plan then in terms of, you were saying you want Brad to fight again before
we've got a couple of things in the pipeline, so we'll just leave that for now, but there's a couple of things hopefully we're going to be able to sort for him, and then we'll look for something again. So 2 fights before he's going away in May, so before he goes away in May we're looking for 2 fights next year.
Where are you going?
I'm doing a stag do, best man.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Where are you going?
I don't know. Where do you reckon?
I've got one in March. I've already planned it, booked it. I'm going Benidorm.
Benidorm. I didn't want to go Benidorm.
No, did I? But it wasn't my choice. I didn't watch it.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe Croatia, Syria, somewhere controversial.
I want to go on your one. I'm going to find
somebody to look after you in Syria if you want to go there.
Yeah. Learn about him.
Well, I'm going to fire off some questions and probably build on them as we go along. I've not been at work today, so I have to do it this way, because I'm professional like that, Brad.
Good lad.
We'll start off with Mark Coomber. Your recent break from boxing, what did you do and also learn within that time? I like that question.
Good question. I still trained to what I could physically possibly train. I learned that I need boxing in my life.
Did you get itchy?
Yeah, like it just, there's no purpose about it. Like nothing excites me more than when I've got a fight and I can train towards it. You got a purpose, you know what you're doing, your life plans around it, you take it away, and I was just not as good as a person.
So what do you do outside of boxing then? If that's your main focus, like what, when you're not in the gym with Terry and Co, what is it that you do?
Got personal training, I work at school, work with special needs kids.
Oh, cool.
Like sports coaching, stuff like that. Not a lot of partying, quite a tame, chill life.
You've changed.
I know. Getting old.
What do you do with the school then with special needs? Because that sounds quite.
I do. I take a boxing class.
Yeah.
And they all call me sir. It's quite weird. Yeah, it's quite weird. Any sort of sports coaching, trampolining, teach them swimming.
Do you need to be able to do each of these activities?
Yeah, can't swim.
Can you trampoline?
No. But I can tell them how to do it.
Yeah. Do as you say.
Yeah. But I keep myself busy. Yeah, it's good.
So what did you learn then? Just that you need the sport.
That I need it.
Is it the discipline that you need, or the focus, or
the structure? It's a mixture. The structure. It's a little bit like Tyson Fury, if you think of it like that.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's as bad as that, but when he didn't have a fight date and he goes off the rails and it's not healthy, then he gets a fight date and he's motivated and he has a purpose, your life's a lot better, I think.
Yeah. At any point during that kind of break, did you ring up Steve and say, I need something?
Yeah, I think in the summer I was like, right, I'm ready now. Because I had to wait for it to be better. Yeah. And then once I was better, I was like, right, and then we're sorted.
Do you worry about him when he's not got a fight lined up?
I mean, Terry does. Terry's worried about his weight, I think.
Yeah. Brad, how much do you weigh? 1 stone lighter, 70 kilos.
I can't quite see the scale, Terry.
I think, to be honest, being totally honest, I think when he's been building up to where we've been today, I think to a certain extent he can get away with that. Where he's going from here on in, he can't get away with that.
Yeah.
Because he can, but he won't ever reach where he's going to reach if he lives that lifestyle. He's got to stop it Otherwise, it'll stop him reaching the levels that he can get to.
Have you got people around you, family, friends, etc., that will say, Brad, like, knock you on the head?
Friends will probably take me the other way, want me to party. Right. But my family, of course, they support me, and then if I'm doing anything wrong, they'll point me in the right direction.
Because I see you're still training when you're down in Cornwall. We do those hill runs, don't you?
Yeah.
They look horrible.
Yeah, it's very hilly down there. Yeah. You'll see it when you go down.
You're down there next week, aren't you?
Yeah. I still train, but I've, like what Steve was saying, if in between fights I've learned my lesson of not training.
Yeah.
You've just got to keep something going, runs, 3-4 sessions a week, because if something comes up, or whatever, you're ready.
But also, do you find, if you're going to start an 8-week camp, you don't want to spend 2 weeks getting the weight off that you've just put on?
You just make it harder for yourself. Yeah. You just shoot yourself in the foot. And then, I don't mind the training, it's just the diet, but the training, you do it anyway, and then when it comes to getting to camp, it's just you enjoy it more because you're not struggling to get the weight down.
Yeah.
So you're doing yourself a favour.
And those grueling track sessions.
Oh, you have to come on one soon.
I managed to avoid it when I was down training with you. Like, I never actually went on one somehow.
Pure hell. That's Linus, he hates it.
Yeah, I used to spar you all, but I never had to go and do that. It was a winner. Ricky Wright, the MC. Has he ever MC'd you? Welsh guy.
I can't remember.
I love Ricky.
Good MC as well.
He is a very good MC. Ask Bradley, would he like to see the British Boxing Board of Control return the old Western Area Council and reinstate the Western Area Championships, a traditional belt that a proud Cornish man can no longer fight for?
I didn't know it existed.
There you go.
I didn't know it existed.
But that'd be cool though, wouldn't it?
If it gives an incentive for a Cornish person to fight for a title...
Who are you going to fight?
There's no one else. I don't know.
That's the problem. I think the reason
why it died off.
The reason it died off, there's just not enough fighters in the area to make meaningful fights. So they got amalgamated into the southern area.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I mean, the southern area is the best area title in the country, and I think it means something when you win the southern area. The problem with some of these smaller titles, if you look at some of the other area titles that you see up and down the country, look at some of the people that are fighting for them.
Yeah, so...
And I'm not going to belittle or criticise anybody.
No, but I'll pick one out, because it was Gerald Goodridge, wasn't it? He was meant to be fighting for a Welsh one at the weekend. His opponent pulled out, I felt really bad for him, but I know Gerard's like a road warrior, go out and fight anybody.
Full Linus, didn't he?
Yeah. He always puts up a fight wherever he is. But yeah, I mean, if you look at his record, it would be hard to say he
2-8 or something, or 2-7.
Yeah. But good luck to him going and getting that Welsh title.
But really,
fight.
should you be fighting for titles with a 2-7 record?
Yeah.
No, you shouldn't.
Yeah.
And therefore, it devalues the value of the titles, and that's what's important. It's very hard. I know people get turned down for southern areas sometimes. They become overzealous in some of the, and I think they're doing their best to try and make sure that people appreciate when they fight for a southern area title that they're worthy and it's a worthy title. And I think it's it's a very difficult job they've got when they decide to ever approve or decline people. Yeah. But the Western, you just wouldn't be able to get the fighters to fight for it. Sometimes it's tough when you're matching southern areas, let alone doing a Western which is within the southern area.
With the limited numbers of right, we should move on. Question from Daniel Smith. This for you, Steve. How good is Sonny Edwards, and does Steve have any fighters that he would match him with?
Sonny Edwards is excellent.
Is this on the back of his win over Farag at the weekend?
And I have no interest in putting any of my fighters in that weight division in with Sonny Edwards.
I mean, Sonny Edwards has ideas and ambitions world level, doesn't he?
No, the thing is, if you're fighting Sonny Edwards for a pot of money, for a big title, that would make sense. You wouldn't fight Sonny Edwards for small money, which, I would guess Ryan Farag wasn't on great money on Friday for that fight, but he was. If you look at Ryan Farag, he was probably in a situation where he didn't have many options, so he would have fought Sonny Edwards for not a lot of money. But for me, to fight somebody like Sonny Edwards, you want a pot of money. Yeah, it's got to be risk and reward. And I was talking off air to Brad, and you know these figures as well. We're discussing some of the purses that some boxers, not my boxers by the way, this is other boxers I don't manage, have got paid for big fights. And they're horrific. Yeah. And you think, what on earth are people doing these fights for these money for? It makes no sense. Just they've got to be smart when you do these fights.
But I mean, that kind of thing. Those scenarios where people are taking crazy fights for very little money. There have to be. I don't understand. I'm not criticising the board, but why don't the board take some form of action in that scenario?
But they can't.
No, I know they can't. But if you said you're going to go in a fight somebody that's way out of your league for $2,000 or whatever, as soon as that gets reported to the board, do you think they'd say
the board have
where's your manager?
Like, that's what the manager's there for. The board really aren't. The only thing the board will do is if there's a purse bid and the purse bid is too low for the fight, they're entitled to throw the purse bid out.
Right.
But if you enter a private agreement, then more for you. And it's up to them. The only reason that the board could ever do anything is if a boxer felt that the manager had misled him into taking a stupidly low purse and going in there. Now, for 1 second, I'm not saying that happened to Ryan Farag.
No.
What I'm trying to say with Ryan Farag, he probably had not many great options to go, and he took the Sonny Edwards fight.
And also, to be fair to Ryan, he wasn't out of that fight at all in terms of before the bell rang.
Yeah.
It was a reasonably matched fight.
No, you'd say on paper.
Yeah.
It's a fair match fight. All I'm saying is, after watching Sonny Edwards at the weekend, you'd have to be wanting good money and a good reward for getting him. I think he's an exceptional talent.
Yeah. All right. Moving on. I've got some anonymous questions sent through for you, Bradley.
Oh, Jesus.
They're not from his ex-girlfriends, are they?
Why have you stopped returning my... No.
Oh my God! You joker! Oh my God!
First one. Does Brad feel obligated to present himself for social media, etc.? I like that question.
Very good question. A little bit, because I think if you do have people looking up to you, say there's young amateur boxers, and you're out partying and you're setting a bad example. Whether, doesn't matter how many followers you got, but could be if you had 200 and a few of them followers see you and you're promoting doing unhealthy activities, you could affect their lives a little bit negatively. So it's a little bit of responsibility where someone might look up to you and you've got to show yourself. Social media is a weird one, I think. It's a weird topic for me, I think, because you're just showing like a certain part of your life, not all of it.
It's a little window.
It's a little window, and you show the nice bits.
Yeah.
Like if some people show all the bits, some people show the nice bits, but you want them. Anything that's positive, I think I try to put up. I don't like to moan on social media. I like to keep it positive and happy. And
I'll teach you how not to do that.
Yeah. You say everyone on social media. I couldn't do that. It's entertaining to see, but I just think. Just keep it happy and simple.
Yeah. And to work the other way in terms of the sponsors that you've got and trying to get them the exposure that, paying them back essentially. So for whatever money, because you've got loads, didn't you? Like, I'm not going to ask you to go through them all now, although, rack your brains and we'll try and get through it later on so you get a mention for everyone. But trying to, in some way, pay back their support in you by pushing their message and their name.
I try to promote as much as I can. But then if someone's sponsoring you and you're representing them, essentially, aren't you? So if I'm sponsored by whoever and I'm doing ridiculous things and I'm getting drunk in the pub, then that's a bad look on them. But yeah. All right.
We'll move on to the next one. What's harder, making weight or staying away from pasties?
It's the same, isn't it? It's the same.
They're both equally difficult.
Equally horrible.
If you won the lottery, call it 5 million, would you still box?
Yeah.
That's an interesting one.
There's some really good questions here.
Apart from pasties.
Yeah. I knew there'd be a pastry question there somewhere. Actually, I think there's another one.
But you would still competitively or do it for fun? Because right now you're not doing it for the money, are you? At the end of the day, the purse that you get at the end of the fight is nice.
But you've got to be doing it for them. At the end of the day, you've got to be doing it for the money. He doesn't want to be fighting for a Commonwealth title for 50 quid, does he?
No, I get that.
Or a British title for $2,000.
I get that, but all the fights you've had to date are surely for the opportunity later in the life.
It's like an investment that I might get the money later on.
Yeah,
but boxing's like no money. Silly money.
Yeah.
So you go, people like me are boxing for peanuts, and then Canelo gets 1.5 million a week.
Yeah.
Minimum. Yeah. So you do it with the hope that you get the Canelo money, but if you don't, you got some accolades and some glory along the way.
Yeah, and fights people remember.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing that a lot of fighters say is that, Richie Gray, who's a great guy, he was saying about, because he's retired now, his hand injuries, but he was saying I wasn't really bothered about title fights or money. I just wanted fights that in 10 years' time I can chat to my mates about, and they'll talk to me and say, "Oh, that fight you had with so and so."
Yeah, just genuinely love a tear up.
But even better if you're getting well paid for the tear up.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why you have a manager.
That's my thing.
Last one, another good one. What does Terry mean to you?
Everything. He's literally a second dad. Yeah, like anything I do goes through Terry.
Does it?
Yeah. So whatever it be with my career, even stuff that's not to do with boxing.
I was going to say, like, if you, I don't know, say you started seeing a new bird and she came down the gym and Terry said, you know, Brad, I don't like her. Would you take that into account?
Women weak in legs. That's what he was saying. Women weak in legs.
That's a great phrase.
He helps me with that stuff. He would be like, you don't need a missus in the minute. Just enjoy yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
It's good for a boxer to have that relationship with a trainer,
Yeah.
because when that boxer goes back and he's in a hard fight, he can go back and Terry's there for him, and the fact that he's got that relationship with Terry is only a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. In boxing, there's a lot of bad people that you speak about, Steve, and there's also very, very, very good people.
Exactly.
Terry is one of those people.
100%.
Yeah. Having spent time around him myself, I've seen the relationship he has to you guys. I'm sure that's just blossomed even further over the last couple of years.
And that's what makes you lucky to have him as your trainer. Do you know what I mean? Because I think that's really, really important. Because there are people that haven't, that are not so good. There's some good people, but we talk. It's often that when we talk about the bad things that some people do. Not on here, but there are some really, really good people.
It's good to reflect on the decent side.
Yeah.
And does it help as well that he's got those contacts to say James de Gale that you can go and get sparring with?
Yeah.
Like, obviously it helps, but like...
Yeah. Like when I first turned pro and I'd see de Gale in the gym and I'd be like, buzzing to get a picture. And I was so buzzing. And then as time goes on, it's like, right, you're sparring him next week. Cool. Next week, okay, you're sparring him again. And it's just normal. But without Terry, probably wouldn't have happened.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
What's it like to spar him? Is it?
He's good. I've sparred him twice. The first time is before he lost to Truex, and he didn't seem as motivated. The time I sparred him recently, different.
Really?
Completely different. Yeah.
He's got his mojo back.
He's got his mojo back. Yeah, completely different. But always nice guy.
Cool.
Who wins out of de Gale and Eubank then?
If it happens.
If it happens.
The way he was sparring last time has to be de Gale. A lot bigger, and when he's motivated and he apparently hasn't got these injuries where he's just completely fine, he beats Eubank because his boxing skills are just too good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it true that he doesn't park on the high street? He parks his car right in front of the gym.
Yeah. That's what he wants. Do what you want.
Would Brad consider fighting in Exeter? I know he's fought in Chav City (brackets Plymouth), but would he consider a more upmarket venue in Exeter? This is from LPC 123. So anyone in Plymouth that wants to find LPC 123, get him. Exeter? I don't know.
It ain't that nice.
Geographically,
I don't know why you're saying it's that nice. It's not that nice. If it makes sense, I can make some money fighting there. Then yeah, of course. But it's not my go-to place.
How far's Exeter from Cornwall?
1 hour from Newquay.
Is it?
From Newquay.
1 hour. Yeah.
And how far's Plymouth from Newquay?
About 1 hour.
Oh, both in Black.
Yeah.
Is Cornwall the dream? Cornwall getting a fight night down in Cornwall.
Make history.
Yeah.
I would pick a big fight in Cornwall over a Southern Area title fight.
Would you?
Mm-hmm.
It's a non-title fight.
As a non-say, I don't know, like an 8 rounder or something like that. I would pick that over a Southern Area.
Yeah. Do you reckon you get good support down there? Would there be an appetite to?
I'd like to believe so. Just because it'd be the first fight in Cornwall in 30 years, so.
That'd be amazing. You're quite a historian about this kind of stuff, isn't you?
I'm not. I don't know all the details, like definitely, but there's not been a lot from Cornwall, so it's easy to look good when you got no competition.
But you think there'd be? You could get a decent night's boxing down.
I'd like to think I'd fill a venue.
Excellent. I always think an open air one would be amazing down in Cornwall.
On the beach.
Over the beach.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing.
One day.
Where are we up to? Another one from Daniel Smith. For sparring, does Brad prefer to fight guys his own weight, or does he prefer a mix of heavier and lighter opponents to mix up power and speed? And who is the best that he's sparred with?
First question, I think they both serve a purpose. So you fight bigger people, you get used to different heights, and then I might box middleweight who's as strong as a super middleweight or a light heavy. Yeah. And then I'm prepared for that in sparring. But then I might fight a middleweight who's as quick as a light middle or a welter. Right. And I'm prepared for that in sparring. So they both serve a purpose. But anything other than maximum 2 weights, I wouldn't.
You sparred Jake Ball, didn't you?
Yeah. A few times, yeah. Yeah, he's good. What was the last question? Who's the
best you've sparred with?
I'm going to have to sit on the fence. I'm going to have to.
De Gale, by being a world champion, must be.
Sparred Groves, didn't I?
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
And he was good.
Yeah.
He was good.
Okay.
I'm going to sit on the fence with De Gale and Groves.
Alright.
Playing it safe.
You're saying about sparring, was it Bellew was saying that he spars Jordan Gill? Have you ever read that?
Who's that?
Tony Bellew spars Jordan Gill.
Does he?
Yeah, he said just to get that speed, that movement around him. I think, not that he's clearly going to have the same attributes and physical makeup of Usyk, but they're in the same camp under Dave Caldwell, and he gets, what's Gill, super feather, is he? He manages to get Jordan Gill to move around and...
good talent, by the way, Jordan Gill, I think.
Yeah.
Really good.
Yeah,
really
impressive
good
win at the weekend. Yeah. Where are we up to? Oscar Smith. I think we've kind of answered this. Will Linus step aside once beating Taylor Jones to give Brad the shot at the Southern area? Very presumptuous, Oscar. I like it. Meaning we will likely see him challenge for it early 2019 if things go to plan.
That's it, you've got it. Sharing's caring. So
the thing was, you remember from the gym, there were two of them heading in down the same road. So I spoke to Terry and I said, which one goes first? And at the time, Brad was just having a bit of a layoff, so he was slightly behind. Linus was more active. So Terry says, we'll let Linus go first and we'll take Brad second.
Yeah. Is it then a race to the British? Like, if you both say Linus wins and then vacated it and you fought for the Southern area early 2019, is it a race to the British at that point?
We'll just do it all the way to the British.
Remember, Linus, if he wins, is mandatory for the English, right?
Yeah, that's why I skipped that and went to the British.
He's already on the thing up. But you don't have to, you can do it in different stages. You can get a British title shot sometimes without even having to do the English. But
that's true.
There becomes different options. But the other thing you've got to remember, that's very important for Brad, that we really need, if Cornwall, if he's able to really generate boxing in Cornwall and turn and get people, there's nothing to stop Brad being able in Cornwall to be able to stage these big fights.
Yeah.
Because if Cornwall get behind him, why can't he go there in Cornwall and get everybody? It'll be massive, it'll be like Warrington in Leeds, right? So why can't that happen? And if you generate that in an area, TV companies get very interested.
What's the population of Cornwall?
Don't have a clue.
Loads.
Yeah, there's an appetite for it. There's an appetite for boxing.
So that's it. People in Cornwall, get behind your man.
You might be able to build it. There's no reason why not.
It's an untouched market. There's nothing at the minute, so fingers crossed.
There you go. People in Cornwall, get behind him. From Tottenham Boxing on Twitter, I know Steve has discussed TV before, but I'd like to know whether there could be a time when the bigger fight cards that he puts on could land on a television station, e.g. Linus versus Taylor Jones.
See, that isn't in it. Whilst it's a great fight, it's not a main event TV.
It's an undercard fight.
It's an undercard fight on TV, and probably if you put it on a Matchroom show, it doesn't even make the live TV. Being really honest, it's a great fight. If you go back 3 years ago, Linus Taylor Jones would have been a mainstream Sky TV fight.
Well, I think you go back to Leon McKenzie, Kelvin Young made it onto, and that was an English eliminator.
A Southern area title. Well, no, English eliminator. So those points, but it's moved on. Matchroom have moved on now. Yeah, and therefore they're going for bigger titles on their TV platform. So, and even if you look at the BT with Frank Warren now, they have. A lot of these fights aren't even getting shown on TV on BT. Yeah. So where that fits is probably on a Channel 5 card, on a Sauerland undercard, on these sort of, an ITV undercard. Those sort of things will probably be attracted to those sort of fights. But in its own right, it doesn't command the main event thing on the TV.
Yeah, as much as it is a great fight. Yes. It doesn't carry the prestige.
Yeah, and again, for that show in December, we could get that shown. We could get that shown on a TV network, right? It would cost money for production, might get some sponsorship in. The fighters are going to lose ticket sales. Yeah. It doesn't, in my opinion, if a fighter goes on, I have a different opinion than a lot of others, but if a fighter goes on live television, there has to be some financial gain in doing that for some reason. Now, to take your fight and go on television, lose a load of ticket sales, and not get that well paid doesn't make sense, because a lot of these fights don't get watched by that many people. Yeah. But then you might end up with 200 people who are watching it who might have gone to watch that boxer. Yeah. So I just don't get it. The time to go on television is when you are commanded big money, you're wanted, and then you get let loose. So boxers need to be more patient, otherwise you go on TV for the wrong reasons, it doesn't achieve anything. Yeah, for ego over... It becomes ego rather than financial common sense. Yeah. How much are the words ticket sales the bane of your life?
It's horrible.
Is it?
Yeah, it's horrible, but it's just something I have to do. You're told right at the start, like when I first started with Steve, he was like, look, I'll tell you the good bits, I'll tell you the bad bits. bad bits, ticket sales, and that's it. There's no way around it. There's an act, it helps you how you can do it, how you can sell them, but it's weird with ticket sales as well. The crunch time to sell them is when you're busy making weight on fight week, and it's the most stressful thing. But luckily my brother does it in Cornwall, so I'm sweet.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, so but yeah, it's a tough part. But
and how much you have to try and innovate in ways to do it, because it's all well and good just putting I'm fighting this date on Facebook or whatever, but it becomes par for the course that, especially if you've got more than one mate who's a professional fighter, you just see it come up and you kind of scroll down. I like your little videos where you sit in the car and do a fight announcement. I think that's quite a good little thing.
Yeah, I hate doing them. Oh my god. My friend was like, you said 27 times. Counted it, I was like, Jesus. But
is that more than that?
It's more personal, I think, but
do you not think that he's at the stage when you get to 9, 10 and 0, it become, for him being one that Brad's based in Cornwall, it's going to become that much more difficult to fight on a standard show, doing 4 or 6 rounds in London, right? To sell, because people have been there, seen it done before. So to get the sales, to get Brad going now, you've got to look for different ways to innovate, which is get him in on higher profile shows, or perhaps building up a base directly in Cornwall, because every boxer's different, and some can happily do the London thing and continue to build that way, or go. But for Brad, it has to be looked at slightly differently.
Yeah. Question from Martin Theobald on Ring Talk. Tell us about your mate who ended up in Thailand after your fight.
Oh,
are we allowed to?
Yeah. That was years ago, wasn't it?
That was your debut, wasn't it?
Danny Kent, yeah.
Absolutely.
I had no intention, left. I didn't even have shoes on. Walked straight on. I had no intention. They all went on a night out after the fight, and that was the last they seen of him. Booked his tickets as he was drunk on the night out. And off he went.
Woke up in Thailand.
He apparently sobered up on the plane. He was like, what am I doing here? Like, what am I doing?
That's outrageous.
Yeah. And then he stayed there for like 2 weeks and come back.
What a man.
Sounds like something Trevor Paddon would do.
It does. It does. Can you get a taxi to Thailand? Sure. Oh, I love that. That story stuck in my mind.
Crazy people.
Question from Paul Oldtide. Would Brad pick his dream house or Sophia Jamora?
That's a tough one, man.
Because you're well into your house, aren't you? I see it on Twitter all the time.
I'm just obsessed with mansions. They're nice.
Yeah, like nicely lit areas.
Yeah, little fire pit and that. I'd have Sophia Jamora in my mansion.
Oh, there you go.
Tied up.
I'm
joking. I love the mansion. I love the mansion.
Your honour. Paul Oldtide again. What's Brad's biggest fear in boxing?
Good question. A mixture of getting on TV, getting knocked out and turned into a meme and going viral.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Because this day and age, that's it forever. And it gets spread around.
You'll be known as
that whatever happens, you get knocked out, shit yourself, goes viral.
Yeah.
Boom. That or underachieving. Just underachieving.
What is achieving on that basis? Like, what have you set as a career aspiration?
Titles. I don't know which ones yet.
Okay.
But there will be titles.
Yeah.
There's a few things I want to do, like the Cornwall thing, but yeah.
But if you retired having never won a title,
I'll be very, very upset.
Yeah.
Minimum Southern area. Minimum.
Okay. I would say, I've got achieving. That would be underachieving.
I don't want to say it.
That would be underachieving.
Yeah.
For you, that's underachieving.
What's achieving?
A lot higher than Southern area.
British.
I think unless you fight for a British title, you've underachieved.
I'm happy with that.
I think that's fair.
Yeah. Done. Deal.
I think that's fair. Shaz. Love Shaz. Always out there supporting boxers. Good man. What level does Brad want to be at by the end of 2019, and what future plans does Steve have for the Newquay bomb? So by the end of 2019?
English.
Okay.
If it went how we thought.
Yeah, it depends on how long. Yeah, you got to remember though, if Linus went and won the English, then he's got 4 months to defend that for you. Okay, so you might be pushing it. You might just be getting ready for an English, but you may be Commonwealth. Who knows by the end of there? Once you win the Southern area, anyway, we won't go into what we do. But yeah, I would say that realistic. You'll win the Southern area in 2019. You'll be on the periphery of an English. You might fight for it, or you might be looking at Commonwealths.
Yeah,
a few days.
Especially if we're fighting in Cornwall. You can make anything happen down there. If you build that big enough, you can drag anybody there.
Yeah. I'll come back. Those people at Cornwall, get behind him.
Come on.
Question from Johnny G86 on Twitter. When is he going to sort a website out for merchandise?
On it. Are
you on it?
PR ladies on it. We're on it. It's happening.
Who does your PR? It's Wave, isn't it?
Tidal.
That's
it. Yeah. It's good.
Excellent. I think that's all of the questions. That is, yeah. Apologies if I missed any. But yeah, so everything's looking good. You've had the time out. You've realised what you're about.
Yeah.
And now you're back to
on
clean up.
And me and Steve making plans.
Yeah. And then before that, of course, Linus, December the 1st.
Yeah.
You'll be planning your efforts into helping out.
Hopefully we'll have something announced before December the 1st.
Okay.
That's the plan, yeah.
Excellent. All right, so I think that's it for this week. Everything covered. Anything you want to mention whilst you're here, Brad?
Thank you to all my sponsors. Can't think of them all off the cuff.
Cornwall Airport always stands out to me. That's a great sponsor.
Free flights.
I told somebody the other day, like, they were talking about getting down to Cornwall.
I know, I'm scared of flying as well. What's the odds?
They've actually got an airport there, seriously.
Yeah, they have. I didn't realise this until
Where do you fly to?
It's Stansted to Newquay or Gatwick to Newquay.
Is it?
I was chatting with somebody on Twitter who was saying they were going away to Cornwall. I only remembered that an airport.
Half hour?
50 minutes.
Okay.
Little plane though. It's like a little.
Is it a propeller job?
Yeah. It's all shaking about in the air.
But yeah, your other sponsors that you can all find on your social media.
On my Instagram. Check my Instagram.
Brad's going to put them out tonight. Make sure everybody gets a mention. Maybe. But yeah, I mean, it is imperative for all those that do support young boxers like yourselves.
Yeah, couldn't do it without them. Yeah. Would not be here.
Yeah, good people. So yeah, that's it. I think we may have to do a slightly different version next week because you're away in Cornwall.
On a podcast next week.
Yeah, so we'll sort something out. And,
I'll leave. You're in charge.
Oh, crikey. I'm not a responsible adult. Should not be doing that. But yeah, thank you to Brad for coming up from London for the day. Thank you to Steve for his time. And we will have something to you next week. Thank you.
Thank you.